Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Next Level Podcast. Today, it's going to be sweet and short. We're going to be talking about another investment type of opportunity out there. We've already talked about single family. We talked about duplexes. We talked about ADUs, additional dwelling units. We've talked about lots. We talked about rentals, buy and hold. And today, we're going to talk very briefly about multifamily complexes and what are multifamily complexes.
You named a couple, Felix, but it's just a property with more than one dwelling unit. So a duplex, a triplex, a fourplex, and then you bump it up into. I mean, there's five plexes. You can say sixplex, but we just call them apartment complexes.
Okay, I gotcha. What about you, Bailey? What do you interpret it to be?
Yeah, no, Anthony hit the nail on the head. I don't think there's much to interpret. I mean, there's just more than one unit on the property. I mean, you could have 2+ all the way up.
But the term multifamily is real sexy in real estate. People really love multifamily, like to talk about it. It's super interesting because I myself I like it as well.
Yeah, it's definitely easier to manage, because you got all your doors in one place,
Yeah,
versus having like a bunch.
Oh, is that the thing about it? Everything's in one place?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, instead of having 25 rentals, you can have a 25-unit apartment complex.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty nice. I mean, it's efficient. You just have one maintenance guy. You don't have to worry about different lawn services. You don't have to worry about paying different bills.
Mm-hmm.
You got, one water bill, one maintenance bill. Everything's just one.
So I was gonna ask you about that. One maintenance guy. How does that work? One maintenance guy can handle it all, or?
I mean, depends on the size of the complex, but you might not even have to have a maintenance guy on board, like, actually on the property all the time. Obviously, if you have, 25, 40, 50 units, there's probably stuff going down all the time. And so you might want to have a guy on staff or hire him. It's probably cheaper to hire somebody for the hour than it is to, send a plumber every time you got to. You know that. We send plumbers $85 every time you send a plumber.
Mm-hmm.
Unclog a toilet, fix a leaky faucet, whatever it is. You're $85 for one thing. And if you have 25 apartments, you have 25 toilets, 25 sinks, 25, kitchen sinks, 25 garbage disposals. The list goes on and on. So things happen fairly quickly. Properties can have problems. Yeah, people, there's going to be wear and tear on these buildings. So yeah, I mean, you'd probably want to hire a maintenance guy, and that would be the ideal situation where you could have him on staff.
And then would this guy be living at the property, or it doesn't really matter?
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but that'd be cool. I mean, I've seen that a lot of times. Part of their pay, they'll offer a house, the housing. So you have a guy right on staff, and a lot of times you'll see the property manager. They'll be on the property. Because that way, you always have somebody there to field emergency calls. You have somebody there to pick up rent checks, or people want to drop off rent, or if you're going to show an open vacant apartment, well, you have that person built in there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go see Susie. She's our property manager. She's in apartment number 1, and she'll show you the unit.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that'd be ideal, and everybody loves that. But most multifamilies are owned by, like a co-vesting type of situation, or a hedge fund, or big REIT, real estate investment trust. They've gotten bought up
Because they need to have large sums of money to be purchasing these types of properties.
Yeah, they go in for millions of dollars now.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I mean, duplexes are going for what, $350, $400?
Yeah, the newer ones.
Yeah, the newer ones. Triplex.
So when does it start counting as a multifamily complex?
After one door. So 2 doors, 3 doors.
Really?
Right, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the tricky part. Everybody thinks, like a fourplex is, well, a fourplex, but the big difference once you go to the 5th or 6th unit, anytime you get after 4, you have to have different type of financing. So that's what really changes the ball game.
Well, it turns into a commercial unit. So
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that's what I was thinking in my head.
Yeah, so you don't have a mortgage. You don't get a 30-year mortgage. You have to get a commercial loan.
Yeah, which can be after 4 units, it gets harder to find, gets trickier to find financing. Let's say harder, but it's
Definitely.
trickier. Like your financing pool went from pretty much any financing company to now there's only specific companies that are willing to do commercial.
Yeah.
They're out there, but
Now, why is multifamily kind of tricky? Why doesn't
think
everybody
it's just-
have multifamily?
Well, there's few of them. I mean, there's not a scarcity.
There's not a lot of them, huh?
Yeah, there's not a lot. There's a lot of duplexes and stuff, triplexes, but you don't see them in Yuma. You might see one a month. You might see a dozen a year.
Mm-hmm. And they could all be different from each other. So how do you run comps?
Well, most time to calculate them, you do this. You calculate cap rates. So
Yep.
you just an investor. If you're going to live in it, most of the time, if it's an investment. If we're talking investment purposes, so you can have a clear playing field, and everything is fair playing field. So everything you're comparing apples to apples to apples. You'd want to look at the cap rate, see your cash flow, to see what your return on investment is.
As long as you're positive, as long as you're not going negative, things are good, right?
I mean, everybody has a different
Criteria.
Some guys want a higher cap rate. We were talking about that.
Yep.
How the cap rates can be affected. You could have a duplex and not cash flow as much, and then you have another duplex that you cash flow a lot. And we were talking about the differences in property value,
Mm-hmm.
or the potential for equity. You have a duplex in the north end of town, older one, not in the greatest area. Maybe it needs a lot of work, but your cash flow is heavy because you haven't put a lot of money into the property.
Yes, sir.
But you have another one that is beautiful, brand new, just built, and no problems, no maintenance on it, and your cap rate's several points lower. Why would you do? Why? Because you probably have more room for equity. The property's going to gain value over time versus the other one.
Yep.
So it all depends on just your investment appetite, what you're looking for.
So that's multifamily, huh?
Yeah, multifamily. I mean, anything over 2 doors or over 1 door is a multifamily property.
So things to keep in mind is anything above 4 doors, then that's commercial now. You gotta get commercial loans. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yep. And then the allure of multifamily complexes is that they almost make sense no matter where they're located, because if they're in a not so great place, you have that high cap rate usually. And if they're in a really good place, well, then it still works out. It's a multifamily complex. You're making money on each door.
Yeah, it's really nice. I'm looking forward to gaining more multifamilies as we, go down the road. But
When are we getting one?
we're working on that daily.
yeah.
We're just
We're
looking
always on
for
the
them.
lookout.
Dude, yeah,
there's-
no, they really are
there's
scarce. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've been able to buy like one a year is all we come across.
Yeah, usually about one a year.
Like
Yeah.
one a year
Yeah.
for multifamilies. They're not easy. And so they're like the golden. They're the golden ticket.
Yep.
Yeah,
So definitely things that we've talked about, right, is you can use loans, you can use debt to make money as long as you know your stuff and you know that things are going to work out. You have experience in it. You have these private or hard money lenders, and you're making profit. And the reason you kind of want to do that is because these are scares, man. They don't come up all the time. So once they pop out, you got to make sure you're ready to go. And a great way of making sure you're ready to go is making sure your funds are there and they're not stuck in other properties and other opportunities, because a multifamily complex goes a long way.
Yep. And they
Yeah.
go fast.
Keep your guns loaded.
Keep them loaded. Keep them loaded. Yep. Try to keep as much of your cash as you can with you. So when an opportunity like that comes up, boom, ready to rock and roll.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that's pretty much it for today, guys. Thank you so much. I'm excited to see you guys on Thursday this week. Yuma REI, third meetup of the year, finishing up the quarter.
Let's go.
Damn, son. Let's do it. And we are next level. We don't buy properties. We buy problems.